you guys are feeling sleepy and you're beginning me, but anyway, so I am Gaurav. I've done 2 startups till date. Started my first startup in 2006 when I was in the third year of my college. Started another one in 2009. A social media agency. So I'll just talk very quickly about that. I'm actually curious, how many of people right here are entrepreneurs or running startups? Because I'm seeing a lot. There are many questions coming up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you guys are already running into your startup, right? And how many? So a lot of people said they are with the startups, right? So what do you mean by with the startups? You are in a job in a startup? Yeah? Working with a friend. Okay. And what about the rest of the guys? Are they students or do a job or what? Yeah. So how many students are there? What about the rest of the guys? One of you entrepreneurs, you're in a job or going to be entrepreneurs?
What for me is that I want to learn what actually it is and how it makes me move on.
Okay. If you really want to know you can be an entrepreneur or not, this is the quickest way to do that. Just go out, on a weekend, go to Delhi Heart and see if you can make money by sitting down there. There have been many cases. Richard Branson, I don't know if you know Richard Branson, Belgium. He used to run a monthly student magazine, which he was trying to be a successful magazine. He wanted to make money out of it. I know a guy who is sitting on a 20 crore cash right now, 31 of years age. He used to buy cars and sell old cars while he was in college. So yeah, this is when I was hearing a lot. How do I know I'm the right guy? If I should, that's what he said. How do I know if I'm the right guy to be an entrepreneur now? There are responsibilities in the near future. Yeah. Yes. That any way of making money is an entrepreneur. I mean, Nikhil very rightly said that entrepreneurs are no way whether you run a startup or a business or you are a business guy, then you are an entrepreneur. If you are actually know how to make money in a company, doing a job for the company. If you know how to run a PL means profit loss statements, then you are. Yeah, exactly.
The truth is, nobody is working for anybody else. Everybody is working for themselves, whether it is just a company or a startup.
Exactly. So anyway, I'll just touch all these things. What I'll do, I'll just very quickly talk what I did with my startups, to set up a context, and then we can get to the questions. So I started my first startup in 2006. I was in 3rd year of my college. I never knew what the domain name was or what it was at that time. I was I'm kind of a non-technical guy, and we suddenly had to get all this domain name out of our college. So the college domain name, the college ID. So we got to know about this GoDaddy, HostGator and everything. And I got a domain name of myself called Mishra.com. And I realized after I got this domain, it became a status symbol. I used to have an email ID called me@gmishra.com. I used to have a domain name and a blog and nice pictures onto it, my face, big nice face. And suddenly everyone wanted to have that. So I said, okay, great, let's get a cheap hosting, let's get a credit card and start selling it. So we started this. One of my juniors who did all the work, and we sold domain name, hosting, blog, email in $1,000 per year. We made 350 customers in the first year from my college and from the next colleges, neighboring colleges, which was near about 3-4 lakh rupees. Pretty good money. I didn't do a shit job, nothing else. I just used to go in the mess, in the canteen, and just talk about all this nice stuff that you can do in the domain. So what essentially I learned from this. So I'll quickly talk about my next startup and just I'll come back to what I did learn. So this was a quick money that I made with the hosting company, the first hosting company. And the nice part was, after even we stopped getting new clients or new accounts from the next year. The reason we did, this is the reason we did, but I'll talk about that later. But with this 350 first customers, they kept me paying till 2011 for next 5 years. So every month, for next 5 years, I used to get some 3,000-4,000 rupees every month in my bank account without even knowing who is paying or what. Okay.
That's a hustler. Let's give him a hand for that.
So it's not a difficult job. So I'll talk very quickly about what my next startup was. So in 2009, when I actually graduated, did a lot of freelancing for a year, going around here and here, not having a clue what I should do. I met a couple of guys who were really smarter than me, and said, okay, let's go start. And then we said, okay, let's figure out what we need to do. So we said, let's open a social media agency. We didn't have a clue what social media is. So we said, okay. Now, why we said that? There were a lot of digital agencies, large digital agencies in India who were started to call themselves social. One of the reasons they were doing that because social was being very popular in the US. Social media was the buzzword at that time, 2009. And there was no social media experts at that time. So we thought, let's call our social media expert and then we figure out what to do. We got into a couple of clients, well-funded, nice startups. I'm not naming them. They still don't like me. But we got money. We got them to pay money in advance, 50%. So we are the experts. We have to give us money, and then only we will do it. And then we blew it. We didn't do it. We did a very shitty job. We did a very shitty job. But the learning from both of the companies, hosting company and the social media agency, was that we spot an opportunity very early. We spot opportunity when we said, okay, there are students who want to buy hosting and domain name and email ID for their own name. With the social media agency, we realized in the market there are no social media experts. We realized that opportunity, that problem. We didn't know how to solve the problem, but we realized that it's a problem. And we went ahead and tried to solve that problem. So one of the very important traits of any entrepreneur, any serious entrepreneur is that he can see opportunities very well, problems very well, pain areas very well. So anyone who asks me how do I actually go on becoming an entrepreneur, I tell them just go into the market, try and find the pain points. This sounds very simple, but it's not. A lot of CEOs all over the world, that's their only job, to find the pain areas of their clients. If you are good at that, that's a stepping stone to be an entrepreneur. If you know really what is going to hurt to a client, and he will be ready to pay money for that. And if you find that pattern again and again and again and again in the market, then you know that this is an opportunity that I should go on. Someone asked me in the middle that, how do I know? I don't know if you, I don't know you, so yeah. How should I know if I should invest my time and money into something? Right? You ask that. So that's what McKinsey is doing. Right? That's what KPMG and all the good ones is doing for companies, big companies. Go around, go in the market, sit down with the people who you think are going to buy. And sit down, don't build anything. I can come from a very different kind of money and background. So just don't build anything and just go and sit with them and ask them what their actual pain point is, what's stopping them to make more money. If you can get that data and see a pattern again and again popping up, you know that this is something that you have to go and build. Then once you start building and once you reach to a very nice stage, when once you have got a small prototype done, go and ask this guy money. Make this guy to put money in whatever you are doing. You don't have to get the final product with you. Make this guy to put money in whatever you are making. Tell them I'm going to give you a 50% discount, whatever the final price is. Or I'm going to give you an account for the life. This product is free for your life. Get this guy to put money into what you are making. Promise doesn't mean anything at all. Advice doesn't mean anything at all. There's a very famous saying, if you need money, ask for the advice. If you want advice, ask for the money. Right? So just go and ask money. People will tell you and you know what you have to make. You will start asking for money from them. So, you need to spot opportunities very early, and you have to clearly articulate what makes you different. What is this one thing that makes you different? we are the hosting company for students. You have to clearly articulate that. We are social media experts, right? You have to very clearly articulate what you are in the market, because there are many startups coming down every day. There are businesses, experienced people out there. How do you compete? You have to be very clearly articulating what you are doing to be able to get the first step into the market. Another experience that I have, so with Media Defined, with my social media agency, we were a bunch of fresh graduates, and we ended up with working with for Samsung, Aircel, Lava Mobiles, Micromax, Maruti, I can't remember. So there were 10, 12, I still remember all of them. So we launched Galaxy S, first Galaxy S mobile. We launched Wave, Samsung Wave. We launched Tab. We launched every bloody Micromax phone. They used to launch every phone every month. That was very nice. We launched Alto K10, the Kanchana car. We launched Lava Mobiles K10, if I remember the name, something like that. Yeah, so. Sorry? No, not Zolo. It's K10 something like that. So we did work with a lot of big clients, and big clients were actually what we are going after. But remember, we were young graduates. Why would anyone give me big business? I think these were big giants. So we found, so what happened, we found a partner. We found a big global media agency which was doing business all over the world globally. But while you are young, you really need to find one big client or one big partner in very early days. That's very important. This is the guy that is going to give you the stability. This is the guy who is going to give you the cash flow. This is the guy who will give you the business in your early days and will give you reference, will give you credibility. You don't have all that in the early days. To find this one big guy and give, just embrace yourself with him. Devote yourself. Don't be a sleeping partner.
Okay, I'll just add something to it.
Sure.
There's this strategy known as 80-20. I don't know, most of you must have heard it. 80 is like, get 80% of your revenue from, 20% of your client, and the opposite. So that's the kind of, you get stability in your business.
One question on this. Let's say there's one partner who insists to have major stake in your baby. I mean, whatever the company you found.
Don't work with him. Don't work with him. Fine. Clear. You are not going to work. You are giving your time. Give your time. We used to give a lot of consulting time of ours to this media agency. We knew social media well. We used to create a lot of pitches for them, which they used to pitch as their own presentation, right? We used to give us own consulting time. We never gave them money. We never gave them. You have to be very clear, very arrogant about that. Okay, so that's how it works. Partnership is all about trust and faith. We have to trust you. You have to trust them. If that's not happening, there's no point. As it was. So, by both of them, so while we had this, one big client agency, they really helped us to get back maximum of the accounts that we did in the first 1.5 weeks. And they helped us actually get into a position where we started knowing as the best social media or number one social media agencies in India. So find this partner, in early days. So what I'll do, I'll just throw back this question. If anyone, this is very classic example of actually having an idea and go to the people. They real estate have a lot of money. They've spent a lot of money. They will spend a lot of money if you can actually make them, understand what you're going to do and how what you're making is going to help them make money. Charge a small amount, whatever the cost is there to survive you a few months, and then you are interested. A very important thing that he mentioned, which I didn't mention, is while you are doing all that, while you are going to the market trying to find the pain problems, while you are trying to create solutions, and to sell some stuff, you need to be very clear that you are out there in the market to create value. You are out there in the market to create a value proposition. It's not about getting acquired. It's not about making money. It's all about creating value. Okay. If you are not doing that, you are just going to, die very slowly or very quickly. I don't know, but you are going to die. That's about it. So you have to create value and money for the guy who is, on the opposite side of the table. You need to understand his client business, the business needs of his guy. You need to learn how he makes money. That's very important. Once you learn how he makes money, you'll be able to make money for yourself. Another thing, very important thing, which is looks very simple, but is also always a tricky thing, is how do you price? And I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs fight on pricing. So they try to be cheap. They try to go into the market and defeat the giants by being cheap. How many of you did that? Any guys here who try to lower down the pricing from the competitors and go into the market and try to make money? How many of you did that?
Don't we all do it at some point in time?
I mean, that depends on the client, right? If you think that the client is going to add value to your portfolio, you would do it. And providing the client has other choices and you're fighting with the big wigs, the big established players. But if the client is kind of smaller, not going to really add value, I mean, I wouldn't really mind doing it even for free if the client really genuinely adds value and the kind of work I do for them is fantastic. But if it's a low value client, then no. So it's situation.
No, I kind of
Back to your point, what you said. It is about understanding the customer, how is he making money. Because the customer is very valuable to you. And he is not able to make a lot of money out of it. He needs a solution which you can provide. So you can be at that distance, what are you getting? What are you getting out of that? You get a solution with providing that.
Got it.
I've done it for lower money.
So I kind of agree and disagree with that. So I disagree because when you are lowering down your price for whatever reasons they are, they're actually hurting your brand a lot.
Yeah.
And it's a small world. Everyone knows if you are lowering down the value for one guy. What I try to do is to not lower down my value, not lower down my price, but to give extra, to give a lot more value than he should be getting. Right? So I'll just talk a little bit couple of experience. So when I started this first ghost curry company, we used to price around $1,000 and used to have the cost before 56 rupees. It was a clear for 56% profit, but that was not happening. And we did stop doing new client acquisition in the second year. And the reason we did that, I had no clue which is the guy who paid me money in the first year. Who is the guy who I should go and call up to take the money again? It was a disaster on the accounting side, finance side. As a guy who knew how to make money, I was a disaster on the finance, on admin. Right? And that's where I learned that accounts and finance and legal is so important. Which it will take you 50% of your bloody time when you are running a startup if you don't get it right. So that's one of the learnings that you should always remember. With Mishra Defined, we had a pricing which was 400% higher than the competitors. While we started, we lowered it down after 1.5 to 2 years to 200% from the competitors. And I find this as a very bad move that I did. Very, very bad move. I see this as a turning point and the reason why I sold my company. Okay. But while we were working at a 400% more value, more pricing situation from my competitors, we were doing less business. We were living a comfortable life, but we were just losing one business after another, and that made us go into the mode of getting into 200%. What happened that we stopped actually pitching. We got a few clients, more clients, but we were not able to give the value that we wanted. The social media is a very tricky kind of business. You can go on and do social media updates, create a report in the end of the month, and you are okay, right? Or you can do a lot more with actually solving client business problems, with mining social data, with doing a lot of analysis, analytics and everything. But you can't do more with the less money. So never ever reduce your money. Never ever reduce your price. Be as pricey as you can. Whatever I'm going to make a 400% profit out of whatever my cost is. Do it, right? And provide a lot of value. Yeah, go ahead.
What would you say about Amazon India? It always reduces fees.
Sorry?
Amazon India. It always reduces fees for us.
Yeah.
So free.
Kindle is at a place where they have commoditized their product. So in marketing, there is a term called commoditization. Marketing goal is always not to commoditize a product, right? When you commoditize, you say, ये तेल है, 10 रुपए है. So सारे तेल 10 रुपए के होने चाहिए. Like if you're not doing that, right? You're not going to sell that thing. But when you're selling into services, this is a service business, right? Remember, when you're selling your services, there has to be a difference of value that you can give, right? So you can always give more value than your competitor. You can always do a lot more than every other player in the market. How do you do more? By charging more, right? By investing a lot of time, by creating value. See, understand, you have to create value at the end of the day. And how do you create value if you are not taking a lot of money? Yeah.
In Indian whole IT story is all about the success, being less pricey. So, it's a world phenomenon that we were less pricey. That's why we got this IT outsourcing and we, started moving out. So,
yeah, totally agreed with that. So, that's.
Can we really generalize about this thing that be pricey? I mean, is that really subjective?
No, it's not. Spend 15, 17, 18,000 rupees into a girl or a guy who's just going to do, invoice guy. But you need to have that smart person. It saves a lot of time of yours. Get that very early. Spend time in that. Spend money in that. That's very important. So yeah, that answers the question. Sorry? If you're doing the bootstrap, it's still there.
Then you have to do all the work with your friends or
No. Get this office system very early, in first few months. That's very important. That will help you actually focus on your product, on your delivery, on your sales. Right? Your time is very important. Whatever money you are putting in, right? Don't count it. I'm not getting any money out of this girl, whatever I'm putting in. Do get an office assistant. That's very important.
Gaurav, one problem with that, what I feel is sometimes the engagement problem. That you don't have that much work to keep that person engaged, and that will end up, that person losing interest in your whatever, and then moves away. What if you train him or her, and then he moves away?
Very good question. Very good question. So I'll just share my example. What happened with us? So that was the same case. This girl that we hired, she didn't have a lot of work. She was smart. She didn't have a lot of work. So we used to run social media agency, and there were new social platform that used to come out. Pinterest came out, and this girl was very curious about the nails and nail art and stuff like that. So we asked this girl to handle the VLCC account and just keep on pinning repinning the images day and night. This girl made the Pinterest account India's largest account of VLCC. So VLCC became India's largest Pinterest account in terms of followers. And this was a charge. Right? So there are always things that you have to be a little smart to understand what you can delegate. Right? So delegation is a art. You have to this comes by experience. But there are enough things that she can do.
So just one question.
So we are running back.
How do you manage a bad hire? If you hire somebody that is experienced but doesn't put in enough effort, and you're worried, you don't want to fire them, it might affect the project and all of that.
Don't worry. That's what we did. We didn't worry. We just fired this guy. We were a little arrogant to be very frank.
No, please.
But we did that. We hired and fired people very quickly. But we made a point where we didn't really fire a lot. We fired probably a couple of people, and then the reason was we never really hired bad people. Right? We always insisted on putting a lot of money. For the first 1.5 years, all the 3 founders were the lowest paid employees in the company. And we were pricing. Remember that. So we used to pay good amount of money. So what I'll do, I'll just quickly run through, and then we can take questions here. Right? That's okay. Or we can just ask me any questions. So few last couple of learnings that we got from the company is be profitable from day one. And always when you're bootstrapping, try, as I said earlier, try to make sure that you are getting money upfront. 50%, 30%, doesn't matter. Get some money upfront when you are doing any engagement. Right? When you actually force people to pay. That's a myth that people don't pay upfront. People pay upfront. You have to just be a little pushy. While you are running your company, always make sure that you have enough money for the next 3 months of your sustainability. And when I say money, I mean cash, hard cash. If you don't have that, don't grow. Don't grow at all. Don't invest into anything else. Make sure that you have enough money to sustain 3 months. That's very, very important. It's a so while once you go, don't cut costs. When you try to be premium, you can always outsource things, and it's always a very great thing to do. It brings a lot of quality in your work because there are experienced people doing a lot of work who knows their shit. With Water Lava, we needed a Flash website. We didn't hire a guy. We just outsourced it to a different company. Took some 4, 7, I don't know what, some money out of it. Took 50% out of that money and gave 50% to the vendor. And we made money. And we just did the selling, nothing else. So, outsourcing works. Outsourcing works a lot. Last couple of things, find awesome partners. I don't know if you can see this guy, these are my partners. Prabal Singh, Hani Singh, both are very smart guys. And find more awesome colleagues. Better people than you actually you are. This after every other advice that you've heard here, nothing is going to matter if you don't have hard work, if you don't have smart work. Believe me. Spend a lot of money in these guys. When you do that, you bring a lot of quality work and you can demand any money you want. So at the end, these are the 5 commandments that I always tell to people. When you are starting up, treat people well. Treat people very well. Treat people, like they are, like you work in a hotel industry. Be a hotelier, right? Just pamper them. Whoever their client is, a client, a lead, whoever, pamper them. While you are pampering them, you still have to remember that you need to, sometimes you need to say no. So always learn how to say no to things. Don't overcommit to anything, right? While you are saying no, make sure that you have integrity. Whatever you promise, you should deliver. Never promise and don't deliver. Never do that. While you are delivering and saying no, always remember that the cash is the key. If you don't have the cash, everything is on the ground. Always, everything is in the place. Always have the cash with you. Cash is what matters at the end of the day. And when we talked about cash and everything, at the end of the day, if you are not enjoying what you are doing, don't do it. Don't do it at all. Get into a job. Get into a job. Or even don't get into a job. Go to Himalayas, stay their life, do farming, whatever. It doesn't matter if you're not a job. It really doesn't matter. That's all. Thank you guys.